I mean, every week's hard, I guess, but I'm
Yeah.
here.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you made it. Sorry to hear that you had kind of a tough week, but hopefully next week can be better. So, since our last session, I've kind of been thinking about some of the things that we talked about, and one of the things that really stuck out to me that I felt like maybe gave you a lot of stress just based on how you were reacting emotionally. I kind of noticed that maybe relationships are a source of tension for you. Do you kind of feel that way?
I mean, everybody's just. I don't get why people don't like me. It's like they're out to get me. Um, any time I'm in a group of people, it just they're all judging me, and they just want to make it life hard for me apparently. So
Yeah, can you maybe explain that a little more? Maybe give me some examples of a time that you felt that way?
yeah. So last week I was out at a bar. I'm not gonna say which one, but my group of friends, we were having a good time. Everything was going fine, and so I go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I get kicked out. When I come back, they're just kick me out. And it had to be the band because they were eyeballing me funny, and I don't know. I don't know what else it could have been. I don't know why they didn't want me there. So I just feel like everybody's out to get me. Like I can't even be with my friends and have a good time.
Right. So, okay. So there was nothing in that situation that maybe you talked to somebody before, or like kind of tell me what was happening like right before you went to the bathroom.
Well, I mean, I guess we were getting, we'd had quite a bit to drink, and I guess we were getting rowdy.
Mm-hmm.
Me probably more so than the others. I do that sometimes, but I was kind of picking a fight with somebody. Now that
Mm-hmm.
I think about it. I, could that have been the reason instead of the band just had it out for me? But
Well, what led
that's
up to that altercation? What was kind of the situation there?
oh, this girl walked past me and shoved me.
Oh, she shoved you?
Well, maybe it was an accident, but
Okay.
I didn't take it as that in the moment. I have a bit of a temper,
Mm-hmm.
so I might have pushed her back a little forcefully.
Mm-hmm. So it seems like these situations where, where you're having these ideas about other people judging you, it seems like there's, maybe a little bit more to that. Maybe.
I guess you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe so. Because if I wouldn't have pushed her and was causing a scene, I probably would not have gotten kicked out.
Mm-hmm. So what were you feeling in that moment when when you felt her shove up against you, whether or not it was on accident? What was going through your head in that
Oh,
moment?
immediate anger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how dare someone push me? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even look at it as that it could have been an accident. I just assume always that people are targeting me.
Okay.
They're always out to get me.
And is that because there's been a history of that? Like, has that happened multiple times in your life?
I feel like it has. Yeah.
And is that due to, why do you think that might be?
I don't. I don't know. Maybe. maybe it is some of my attitude towards everybody and how my interaction. Maybe I do play a big part in that. But in the moment, I get so angry or whatever and not thinking about rationally, I guess. I don't know.
Well, sure. I mean, especially in like a physical situation, like when somebody has like pushed into you and, your body kind of goes into fight or flight response. I mean, maybe it is first instinct to just be angry about it.
Yeah.
So maybe what can you think of to kind of combat that a little bit, like when you have those thoughts, like when your initial reaction is just to act, what can you do in that moment?
You mean like count to 10 or something? I've heard that on movies and stuff, like take a breath.
Yeah.
Just make myself stop for a minute and count and then breathe.
Yeah.
And let it go.
That's awesome. I think that's a great idea. If that works for you, have you ever tried that
I
before?
have not.
Well,
I'm willing to give that a try though, because I'm tired of getting so angry. It's not fun for me. Sure, I can try that.
Nice. Awesome. So what do you think maybe in other situations with people, like I know last week you said like at work, when you lost your job, that was a really stressful time for you.
Yes. And I even went to the boss and asked, why? Why am I being fired? And it was a lame answer, and I just said, she's just looking for a reason to get rid of me, and I lost my temper then too, but it did seem like they were just looking for a reason.
Okay.
But,
So you think that they were looking for a reason to fire you? Do you think that they felt that way for a long time?
yeah, I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
They're just always on my case about everything.
Yeah. Well, did you notice that they treated other people like that?
No, it just seemed to be geared towards me.
So they were just singling you out?
Yeah.
So if they were just singling you out for no reason, just always on your case, then there was nothing that you needed to do to change in your interactions with people at work or in your work ethic or anything like that?
I mean, I was late a couple times to work. Kind of put other employees in a tight spot because when I was late, they had to stay over, and got into some arguments with them because they just seem to always jump on me as well. I mean, I'm trying, and I don't see why I don't know, but and maybe I was sometimes loud to customers if they ask stupid questions.
What do you consider a stupid question?
I don't know, just to look up the price of something. I mean, they can look it on the tag themselves. I don't understand why they would always have to.
Mm-hmm.
It's just aggravating.
Right. retail can be frustrating. I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, um, I mean, I can definitely agree that there are some stressful situations in a work environment, with coworkers and with, customers and bosses and everything. But it seems like when we're constantly at odds with the people that we need to get along with in order to, keep a job, in order to, get that paycheck, um, it seems like maybe there are better ways to maybe interact with people in order to make your life easier in the long run. So, I mean, what are some things that you can think of, like when a customer would come to you and ask something that is frustrating to you, extremely obvious to you, um, but maybe is not so obvious to them. What are some ways that you can maybe more positively interact with them, even though maybe you don't want to?
Well, kind of like I said earlier, just pausing before I speak
Mm-hmm.
and just not saying the first thing that pops into my mind.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not going to be nice. um, um, do you have any other suggestions? I mean, that's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Being mindful about what you're thinking and saying to people. Um, maybe trying to be more empathetic and, trying to see things from their angle, from their point of view. Um, I definitely like what you said though about counting to 10 and maybe just like taking that time to pause. It's really good. So, are there any other areas in your life that cause you a lot of stress as far as like relationships?
My family, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're always on my case too.
Yeah.
But they've helped me a lot. So, I mean, I appreciate it and I'm thankful, but I wish they would get off my back a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't always communicate well.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it can definitely be difficult to try to mend those relationships when there's so much history of hurt and conflict and things like that. But I think by focusing on small things, taking small steps to get to a point where you can mend those relationships, I think that's probably most beneficial if we can work in these sessions on communication skills and doing little exercises, kind of like this, and maybe taking that out and practicing with other people in your life, and then graduating those steps.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else that you had on your mind, or any other areas of concern that you wanted to talk about today?
No, given me a lot to think about.
Okay.
So I think that's good for today.
Okay, awesome. Well,
small steps, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And as long as you feel like we've done something today, then that is more than enough for me. As long as you feel like you've kind of, gotten something out of this.
I really do.
Good.
I really do. Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming today. I really appreciate you coming in, regardless of how the rest of your week went. So, yeah. Okay. Well, I know that I'm not your social worker. My name is Jessica. I'm your classmate.
Hi, Jessica. I know that I'm Jana, your classmate, not your client.
Okay. Perfect.